Hello. Um, so today's kind of a different flight than I usually do. We're not on Batson today, um, but we are going to be flying out of Salt Lake City. So today's flight is primarily for training for me. I guess not for any real world training that I'm doing, but I'm just going to do some practice ILS approaches until I feel comfortable doing those. And then I figure once I'm comfortable doing those, I'll be able to fly places where the weather's not so good. So let's jump right into it. Back onto the flight deck, go up to the overhead panel, and start her up. I just realized that my desktop audio is bleeding in over to my microphone, so let me get plug my headphones in. And a little window will pop up, it'll crap out my frame rate for a couple seconds, worse than it already is, and then we'll get out of here. Alright. So now we're set over. That's your IRSs to nav. Go over here and let's see here. IRS position. Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here as you get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Alright. I know the description says 3-4 left, but we're actually going to be flying ILS 34 right. So, so we got that performance initialize. Got 7.7 pounds of fuel on board. Well, 7.7 thousand pounds of fuel. That's good enough for about 45 minutes of flying. Reserves, we're going to be working with about 2,000 pounds of reserves. Cost index 80, and let's see, what is it? 11,000. Execute M1 limit. Just leaving T2 climb 2. Takeoff flaps 5. There's a bug in the in this FMC where it doesn't give you the view speeds of the M1, so I had to do that myself. I just choose generic numbers. 3.71 for the trim. All right. V1, since we're so light, I'm going to go ahead and do 125, 130 for VR, and 145 V2. Actually, we're going to hit 130 before a third of the runway, so I think I can probably do 130 as the V1 speed as well. Alright, let's see. So we don't need a departure since we're just doing pattern work. Let's go back over here. We got all this set up. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. My frame rate kind of craps out if I'm moving around because there's some pretty... I bought the new Salt Lake City scenery, and it works really well. So, yeah. Alright. Cabin utilities, and go ahead and turn on the outer fuel pump. Make sure this is ILS fuels in the wing tanks. 1, 2, 3, and then APUs turn on. Everything else, trying to trim air, window heat, and it's mighty cold out there, so any ice. We'll start up. Transponder on 195. Take that. Yeah, the new Salt Lake City scenery just it rocks. I'm at gate Delta 6 right now. It's actually a dual. It's actually kind of a dual gate. You can fit 7 3s in here, or you can fit pretty much anything else. You can fit CRJs, 319s, 320s, 7 3s, 7 5, 7 6, all the way up to 764, which is the ER version, which is the sort of the 733, or correction, 773, the 76 world. So, all right, go to 1000. I very highly doubt if we get up to 11,000. I'm actually going to go ahead and re-amend the cruise out to 10,000. Oops. Let's see. And 9,000. Oops. There we go. Okay. Alright, AP is available. Switch over and go ahead and turn on the seatbelt sign. 9,000 EMCP.
Captain has to on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
God, Zebo is awesome. Zebo and AudioBird XP. I keep forgetting that it has this, I keep forgetting the gates are animated here.
Board boarding door has been closed. Once again, we need all passengers to remain seated at this time. Please double check the security of your seatbelt. All electronic devices will need to be turned off to put away.
Alright, doing 3, 4 left, so come back over here, and these are all the echo gates. These are the ones that Salt Lake City keeps for the, it's the international terminal, it's also the,
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
alright, fire up the fuel pumps, AP is available, disconnect from
Ground to
ground power.
cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Set the pressurization, even though it's not really high enough to do anything. 4,227 feet on the field altitude, 4,250. No yellows, except for stuff that is out of my control right now. So, yeah, we're good to go. And there's the little tug is coming out of the actual tug.
Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Alright, I think that'll work. Yeah, I love Salt Lake City. Alright. So the way these tugs work is that they actually pull the airplane's
Tow
nose up.
connected and bypass pin inserted. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Starting pushback and you may start engines.
Alright. APU bleeds up, and we'll go ahead and cut the pack off. Pack's off. And wait until we're clear the gate. Clear the red chevrons, or whatever you call these things, red lines. And we can go ahead and start our engines. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Those famous words in racing. Right. 17, 18, 19, 20% M1 introduce fuel. I swear these sounds came from an A320. I mean, yeah, they use the same engines, but yeah. My frame rate's going to be a little blocky, considering that it's both crappy weather and kind of resource-intensive scenery. So yeah. I don't have any comments open today, so like if you're trying to say something, I'm probably not going to see it because, for one, I don't have the resources to do it on my computer right now. I lost my iPod. And two, oh no, there's my iPod. But, okay, so I found my iPod, but also there's the problem of, will I be able to, will I be able to actually look at it? And the answer is no, because of how busy I'm going to be doing these things. Because if you look at my flight plan, it takes me out runway 34 right, and then almost immediately I'm turning to make a traffic pattern. It's not a perfect traffic pattern, but it's a traffic pattern. I'm going to go ahead and fire up number 1. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, introduce. You can see how foggy it is
Operation
outside.
Complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So something interesting about the 737 is that if you turn these pumps on, it lets the nose wheel start to steer. So if this thing's still attached, once they take that pin out, you're going to damage the tug, or possibly your airplane too. These airplanes are built strong, but not that strong. And the way that they do the pushback is that there's a small hub on the nose gear, and they have a pin that you plug the pin in, you push it in, and it cuts off hydraulic pressure to the...
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Have a nice flight.
So you heard I mention the bypass pin. It's hydraulic bypass. It cuts off hydraulic pressure to the nose gear so that it can't turn, and that makes it so that they can freely steer the nose with that. But see, the thing is, if I turn these pumps on, I think this is how it goes. I'd ask any 737 pilot, I'm probably wrong because I'm not very familiar with the systems, but my guess would be that once you turn these on, if that pin has been removed, then the nose gear just goes, it straightens out and damages everything, and it's a bad day all around. So now that he's free, we can turn these on, turn the engine bleeds on, they're already on, engines are already on. It's going to set our flaps for takeoff, flaps 5, so 3 notches, cut off the APU. So far things are looking good. And listen outside, the sounds on this aircraft are amazing. I love them. I really do. Oh, look at that, we pushed back right on center line too. And these E-gates, they don't have jet bridges. They've got, they just have little carts that take you out there. So the fun thing about Salt Lake City is that there's a Delta crew lounge. For security's sake, I'm not going to give the actual information as to where, but Delta's got a hub here, and Delta's hubs all have crew lounges. So, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so flaps are set, and look at this plane. This is beautiful. This is a gorgeous aircraft. So it looks like, I think that was the APU finally shutting down. Yeah, that was the APU. Alright, so everything's normal, got everything set. Gonna take the battery and generator 1. And there we go. Go ahead and do a flight controls check. So I need the systems page on the lower MFD. Alright, and then test the fire system. Alright, fire system's tested. Alright, and all circuits are tested. And jet blitz test.
Flight slow. Hold up.
And while it's doing that,
Wind shear. Wind shear.
legs get rid of.
Terrain. Terrain. Hold up. Sink rate. Hold up. Terrain. Hold up. Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low.
It goes through them all.
Too low. Flaps.
So while we're
Too low.
here,
Terrain. Flight slow. Bank angle. Bank angle. Minimums. 500.
it goes, yeah, like I said, it goes through all of them.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Too low. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. Caution. Terrain. 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 Pull up.
Oh, it doesn't do caution obstacle. Alright, I think we're done. There we go. Taxi lights are dim, and because it's foggy out, you don't want to turn them on to bright, otherwise it just flashes back in your eyes. Brakes released, here we go. We don't need that much thrust. In the terminal area, we've got maybe 700 pounds of payload. That's payload including passengers and cargo. It's an empty flight because it's a training flight. Alright, let's see if we can go over here. And I think once I come back, I'm probably going to park in the Charlie gates. There's the tower. This little goes through a little silhouette out there. Don't get much faster than 10 knots ground speed while you're in the terminal area. And then once you get out onto Taxiway Hotel, which is where we're going, you'll be able to go a lot faster. So I'm going to go ahead and take this taxiway. This will take me out toward... so this is actually taking me by the Charlie gates. No, we don't want to go to the Charlie gates. No one's pushing back, so we're fine. So we come over here. And take this one. I don't really get what these 14s are, so if anyone, like, I'll see it later, but if anyone knows what those are, can you guys tell me, because this is Salt Lake City. This is the scenery for Salt Lake City. Alright, here's Taxiway Echo. We're crossing into the movement area. We'll just say we've got clearance, because I don't do ATC unless it's VATSIM. So here's Taxiway Echo. And we'll straighten out an Echo. And then once we come on to a hotel, which there should be I think there's either a pavement marking or a taxiway sign that'll take us over there. Alright. That's pretty good. Alright. So, this is the weird collection area over there. So there are the Delta gates. These are the Charlie gates. And Bravo and Alpha are going to be over there. Beyond the mist. Okay. And these sounds really do sound like they're coming from an Airbus A320. On here, it's always a good idea to set the altimeters. if you know the field elevation, you can actually get the altimeter pretty accurate. 306, it's actually 4. So field altitude is 4,227 feet. There we go. 3063, 3063. And we will... No, this is still the terminal area. So these are the alpha gates. Now these are the Bravo gates, and the alpha gates behind that. So this next taxiway is going to be hotel. You can turn on that, and we'll speed up a little bit to about 20 knots ground speed. And once we're on the hotel, we'll go ahead and do the before takeoff check. Yeah, so most major airlines, going back to that crew lounge thing, most major airlines, if it's a hub, they've got a crew lounge there. It's kind of like the Delta Sky Club or the those little places where you can get out of the terminal. It's basically that for the pilots, just the hubs. All right, catch up, X-plane. Thank you. Yeah, this scenery and weather may have been a bad combination for frame rate, but it's actually really good practice for just for regular instrument flying, though. So these little wide taxiways over here, these wide turns, they're called high-speed exits from the runways. Because jets, you know how if it's a shallow turn, the passengers won't feel as much. It's not going to cause as much stress on the airframe, and as a result, you can take it faster. So they make these high-speed exits so that you only exit the runway at 30 to 45 degrees, and you can take it a little bit faster, so you don't have to, so your rollout's shorter, and then you finish braking as you exit the runway. So we've actually, right here, I believe, is the halfway point of runway 16/34 right. Usually the way you can tell is that it's a 90-degree turn-off instead of a 30 or 45 or sometimes even 50. All right, so we're on hotel. We're speeding up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn the wing lights, logo lights. I'm going to hold off on the strobes and put the engine start switches to continuous ignition. Alright, so we're at 20 knots ground speed. Let's go ahead and pull off a little bit of thrust. Alright, you can tell we're getting close to 3-4 right, because this little taxiway is actually an angled, and it's basically like a switch track on a railroad. It's a real shallow turn that I can take at this taxi speed, and it just takes you over. It basically sidesteps you. Alright, let's see here. Come over. Alright. Okay, 6-3. Keep on going. All right. So auto brakes rejected takeoff. Flaps set 5. Spoilers are armed. I don't think it was. No, it doesn't. Alright. Go ahead and brake. Alright. Lights. Alright, lights. Camera. Action. So we're now departing on runway 34 right, and it's going to be right traffic back to runway 34 right. But the pattern is going to be a bit longer because we can't really stay a mile away from the airport. This plane goes way too fast and turns way too slow to stay a mile away from the airport, unless you want to take her over on her side.
Approaching 34 right. On runway 34 right.
Dogs alive. Thrust set. Power normal. Or thrust normal. $120. E1, rotate. Gear up. Alright, 400. And we'll go ahead and bring up the first notch of flaps.
1,000.
And slipping up the glide slope a little bit. Let's go ahead and that's what's coming back in. And we're out of the clouds. And you can see the beautiful Wasatch Mountains of Salt Lake, or the greater Salt Lake area. This mountain range extends from northern Utah down through, I believe, southern Utah. It might go into the Uinta Mountains, but I'd have to pull out my Salt Lake section to know. But, all right, let's see here. We're doing flaps 1, and pretty soon we'll make it to flaps up. So this is about the route that you'd take on the Anderson 4 departure. So November Sierra India Golf November, the number 4, and flaps up. Gear off, and we'll go ahead and no, we won't. I'm just gonna fly her manually today. See how I do with flying her manually, because I usually have her on autopilot. Let's keep this going up. We'll go ahead and lower to climb to the climb thrust setting. And we're approaching 9,000. So we're climbing. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the climb rate to about 1,000 feet a minute. And then start a turn. And this is actually, I don't know if Delta recommends actually doing turns at 30 degrees. But that's what I do, because I've actually been doing it for a long time in my actual flight training. Because I'm a flight student in the real world. If you're like new to the channel, I'm actually a flight student in the real world. So let's see here. Can't break 250 under 10,000. And actually tap on that particular back door right now. Okay. All right. Cool. Oh, 737, damn near perfectly trimmed out. Alright. Back up a little bit. Go ahead and keep the turn going. Pull the thrust back just a little bit. Keep the thrust to the point where we can both maintain altitude and keep 250 knots. The buttload of trimming is what it is. So, yeah. So you can see where the cloud pink actually starts. These are going right back into the soup. Okay, I'm getting kind of close to these mountains. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again for the flight deck, we level off now at increasing altitude. Want to go ahead and turn off the seatbelt sign. Flight scheduling as if you are saving your seatbelt.
Oh, I was doing so well too. So you're going to hear the altimeter, the radio altimeter come online. So I'm going to do the first one manually, and then the second one I'm going to couple the autopilot in. Because I think the Zebra Mod 7.3 will actually do Cat 3C ILS approaches, like auto land. Could be wrong. Someone in my hallway just dropped something. Let's see. Let's get back on course. Yeah, you'll see my altimeter go. You'll see a little number pop up in there pretty soon. I think you will anyway. We're at about 2,500 right now. Let's slow down to 240. Well, we are right on top of this too. Look at this. It's just a sea of white as far as the eye can see. So we're passing the touchdown point right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull the power off and go ahead and put out a couple notches of flaps. Flaps 2. The ballooning effect will actually get us back up to 9,000 as well as have a dampening effect on our speed. Right, trimmer out. We want to maintain 9,000. Oh, balls, she blasted through. Well, I'm doing a lot better than I used to. So let's go ahead and start a turn. And I do not want to climb. Thank you. Little asshole. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and add some spoilers to help me start descending again. Because right about now is actually when I want to start descending towards the runway. So I'm going to go ahead and give it... I think I can stay here for now. I don't want to give... I want to give it flaps 15 gear down until I'm on base. I'm going to go ahead and actually skip shale. Alright, and we're coming back up on the VNAV path. So there's shale. So you notice I've already slowed down to my final approach speed. Normally you wouldn't do this. This is just something I figured, you know, I'm already here, I might as well. I am above the glide slope. Very much above the glide slope. Alright, spoilers out. Alright, gear down, flaps 15, that's what's really going to help. And start the turn. I'll say something though, this close. really sure if I'm above the localizer or not, or above the glide slope or not. They're pretty close to the runway. Oh yeah, we're real close. 5 miles, less than 5 miles away. So yeah, we are high. Go ahead and toss out full flaps. And you'll see the, so at 2,500 feet, I'm way above the glide slope. I'm not going to make this landing very well, at least. I'm going to let it actually... runway 34 right, I'm 2,500 feet, and I'm 2.5 miles from the touchdown point. That's not going to happen. This is how not to fly an airplane, guys. Thousand feet in 2 miles. 1,000. Oh, here's the glide slope. Here's the glide slope. Expose up. Bring it back, and now we're established.
Approaching 3-4 right.
And it calls out approaching. You can't see it yet. This is a Cat 3 ILS approach, and I'm below the glide slope. Crap.
500.
Blew through the glide slope. Let's get some thrust. I can see 300 feet above the ground. I'm way below the glide slope. There's the lights. This is how not to fly an airplane 101. There's the glide slope.
200.
And by the way, guys, I'm not even instrument rated in real life, so this is bad. Like, this is probably how my first ILS approach is going to go in, like, ILS conditions.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, flaps up. Let's head up. And rotate. Gear up. Alright. +5. Two. 1. You hasn't come up yet? Should have gone up. There we go. It's gone now. And we're out of the clouds. That was weird. I've never had the landing gear do that. You notice the clouds just stop. Look at that. They just stop right there. Like we're in clear air now. If you fly around out there, actually I'm going to go ahead and go to Hill Air Force Base. So this one I'm actually going to use my map to get to. VFR sectional, because we're in VFR conditions right now. We've got the Lehigh, the Brigham City VOR, we've got the Ogden VOR, Hill Vortac, Evanston VOR, and then we are heading north. Alright, so we're actually just going to head north to Hill Air Force Base. Actually, you can probably see it. It's right there. So we've passed 11,000. I'm going to go ahead and start descending. This is going to be pretty much the same type of approach. And there's the runway. This is a big Air Force base too. Look at that. There's a scenery glitch. It's Salt Lake City, in this part of the country, the United States. There's a scenery glitch that basically gives it a big earth spire in the middle of the Wasatch Mountains. If I climbed up above the Wasatch and set the scenery and set the visibility to unlimited, you'd see it. All right, let's go ahead and drop another notch. Flaps 5. And do a base leg. On a base leg. This is where I'm heading. And that's the only airport. It's like a 13,000 foot runway too. Details. This is 4789, 8.1 miles. We're heading there. Gear down. Flaps 15. Flaps 15 is what I want.
Take flight up here, have you enjoyed the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
And this is sort of a tactical approach. For landing at an Air Force base, they come in pretty high and just keep the thrust out idle the entire way. At least that's what they do. That's what some of them do in small planes, but I wouldn't know about the big ones. So right now we're at flaps 15. We're approaching this gigantical 13,000 foot runway. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the gear, and that'll really slow me down. You can see it's already doing its job. That's 25. And we are stable on a very high approach. I love the mountains. I really do. I gotta get this so it's snowing. Now we're getting closer into the glide slope. It's amazing what a 7.3 will do if you really want to do it. It's like I've got structural damage set to where it'll actually do it if I do something that's outside of limits. So, all right, give it flaps 30. And we're coming into the glide slope. 1,000 feet.
Approaching. 3, 2.
All right. And now flaps 40. We'll do some thrust. And we'll make this a landing for the record books. I think it's interesting. They've got two ILS. They've got two VASIs or PAPIs.
500. 400. 300. 200.
Continue.
100.
Man, we're at 120 knots. That's how light this aircraft is right now.
50. 40. 30. 20.
This is a 13,000 foot runway. Let's see how smooth I can get to this landing. Alright. Gonna go ahead and 2, 3, 4, 5, and touch and go time. Gear up. Alright, it's actually coming up. Laps 2. Laps 1.
1,000.
Oh, look at us, we're climbing like a homesick angel. I'll go ahead and level off at 9,000. And flaps up. Mid marker. Even steep turns into 7.3 either. Also because I don't actually know myself. Yeah. Sorry, thinking out loud. Okay. Let's fly back to Salt Lake City. Wow, that was a lot of messages. Departures arrivals into Salt Lake City, ILS 16 left. Whatever. Alright, so we passed Weber. Airline. And then we're already approaching the already getting ready to intercept the glide slope. Short flight. Go ahead and once we intercept the glide slope, we're still going to be about 20 miles out. And gear off. Alright, and pilot approach. Surprised that it didn't intercept the glide slope.
Onboard computers shown as on-time arrival. You only see 2 delays either. Let's just take Wyatt up here, have you enjoy
Alright,
the flight
flaps
and the service.
5.
Once again, welcome aboard.
And autopilot. Approach mode. So it's going to crash the VOR first, and it keeps wanting to go back up to 3. Alright. Play like that. Fine by me. Yeah. Hey, don't drive me. Okay.
Flight attendant for landing, please.
Now, pilot approach. Why does it keep wanting to take it back up to 8,000? He's trying to take him back up to 8.
Approach from the point that we started to have in ground about.
There we go.
Want to thank you so much for
Jeez.
your company and business.
Oh,
And hope to see
but
you
there we
again
go.
sometime very soon.
2500.
Jeez. All right, gear down, flight 15. Suppose up. Really? All right. Okay, when did I turn? When did the autopilot disengage? Did not ask for that. What? Approach mode. Wow, you're slowly learning stuff about the 7.3. It will auto-trim if you push the yoke forward, even if it means the aircraft's stalling, which it's about to do. Alright. There we go, now we're back. So the approach mode is very wonky today. Got 2.5 miles to the touchdown. 1,000 feet. We go ahead and put out full flaps.
Feet stabilized, Mr. Birch altitude set.
See if this goes better. 800, 2.5 miles.
Approaching 16 left.
Alright. Catch some glide slope again. Oh shit, there it is.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And rest in peace. Why not? Okay. Wow. Alright. We're just gonna park at one of the Bravo gates. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, if you got off at this exit and your gate's like right there. I'll probably bust a bunch of FARs. I usually fly a lot more realistically than this, but I figure why do it if it's just for fun to see what it's like today. neat. I got a marshaller. That's cool. I've got a marshaller. Getting close, getting close. Brakes, brakes. See how that parking job went. Oh, that was perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Right in the spot. Right in the spot. Okay. 4. Let's get the parking brake set. And let's go ahead and take ground power. And engine's off. Engine bleeds off. Tax off. And recircs, trim arrows off. Hydraulic pumps off, fuel pumps all off. I never did clean up after landing. Alright, and the gate's coming up. So, belt signs off. Lock the flight deck door. And yeah. So we end on a happy note. What I had to do was trim the windows and heat off, and the yaw damper. Make sure there's nothing else I forgot. Alright, well, thanks for joining me on my very crappy first taste of IFR flight. Usually I don't have that many problems with the autopilot, but it's what it is. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys later.